every black person living should go to Ghana and see them slave castles so you can see what they did to us. You got to see what they did to us. You got to see how they built these dungeons underground and they put these churches on top and they dug holes in the ground to pump the music of what they call their Christianity into the holes while, man, they did. Let me explain something to y'all. They walk them as far as they can first to make them lose weight. They put them in a room, then they cut a door, and after you've been in this room in 2 weeks, they walk you through this door. If you lose the right amount of weight, you fit through the door. If you don't fit through the door, you got to stay in this room right here. Then you in this room for another week, they make you lose some more weight. Then you fit through another door. If you can't fit through the door, you ain't lost enough weight. You got to go through 4 doors like that before you go through the door of no return. And they steady sitting up there talking about Jesus. Jesus.
Welcome to the Cape Coast Castle. This is one of the slave castles in Ghana. We have numerous number of them, but this is Cape Coast Castle. It's very iconic, and in this video I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about the Cape Coast Castle. Let's go.
Yeah, so as you can see, this is Cape Coast Castle, and this is the entrance to the castle. I'm not the one going to do the job over here because we have a tour guide who will take us through everything. But for me, in the next 2, 3, 4 minutes maximum, I'll be taking you through the entrance and everything you need to know around the place before the tour guide will take his job. So these are some freedom fighters and their coats, and they thought it's very nice to be at the entry point so that when you get here, you get to read them. So if you want to read, just pause and read any of them. We are about to enter art market, where, I mean, in the past it wasn't an art market, but now they are just using it for art and stuff over here. So you can get kente, basket, and all the made in Ghana stuff over here to purchase, so that when you get to your country, you get to show people that, yeah, you indeed came to Ghana. Yeah, here I am, clothed in black everywhere, because it's more like a funeral for me, coming to see my ancestors and how they struggled for us. So this is the directional map. It gets to show you all the stages wherever you'll be passing to, from the main entrance all the way to the gate of no return. Now the white man really planned everything out.
Give me the story.
Okay, they say I shouldn't talk much. The tour guide will do the rest.
So yeah, this is the front view. If it was a house, if it was somebody's mansion, we would say this is the front view. This is where the administration block of the our slave masters were, so they could see the sea view. It's also like their should I say Ministry of Defense, where they have the weapon over here. That these are the bullets. Maybe later we might talk about it in details, but right now all I need to tell you is these are all like weapons. The metallic stuff are all weapons that they used to fire at. They used to fire at the enemies or intruders. So there you have it. These are the bullets. There are more there. There are more there. There are more here. And outside here is like let me show you the sea proper, the view. This is nice, this is crazy, this is beautiful. And just after the sea defense is, you can see the boats over there. It's like a fish market. So you see a lot of people over there. It's a bit far from here, but you can see. Yeah, Cape Coast Castle is very beautiful. Let's go in. Yeah, so now we are entering the place. Okay, listen. Okay, boss. I don't know. I don't know where this is, but he said we should enter here.
This is the model of the Cape Coast.
Okay.
Here we take the picture for.
This is like a model of the entire castle. So yes, we are somewhere around here. I don't know, like here.
We did this building inside.
Okay, yeah.
Downstairs.
Okay, the geography student is teaching me. We did somewhere like that. So yeah, we'll be going in soon. We are waiting for the tour guide to get in.
All right, let's move straight to the building. Mind your steps.
Be careful, yeah. Mind your steps. Mind the gap.
Okay, this is where I hand you over to the tour guide to take us through the history and everything about the Cape Coast Castle. Please click on the like button and also don't forget to leave a comment.
Cape Coast Castle. My name is Richard Kwesi Obey. I'll be with you for the next 45 minutes. You are free to ask questions and take some pictures. But before we move down, I will give a brief background history about the castles and transatlantic slave trade. The Europeans came to West Africa and did not rest at all because they built about 50 forts and castles in West Africa. Out of the 50 they built, Ghana had about 40, all because of our gold. So it was not surprising that they named our coast Gold Coast. Our neighboring coast was named Ivory Coast. A lot of ivory. The coast of Togo, Benin, Nigeria, slave coast, meaning they were getting a lot of slaves from there. But out of about 40 they built, we now have 19 forts, 3 castles existed. So together about 22 existed. First one built is the one in El Nina, St. George's, built by the Portuguese, 1482, 542 years old. Oldest European structure in the entire West Africa. Second one is Accra, Christiansburg. Also, Denmark built Christiansburg, 1661. This is the youngest, the third, the last castle. Cape Coast, built by the British. This English, 359 years old. Very old, but the structure is still strong. Surprisingly, the original structure, like inside here, has no cement, no iron rods. Any cement mortar you see around, it's what we used to restore the facility. They used bent bricks, they brought the oyster shells with oil and sand as binding material, stones, pitch pine timber with cheap African labor. If not free, they built the dungeon. Meaning they used our people for the construction. And that should inform us that Africans contributed, built their own dungeons. And all the 3 castles I mentioned, as well as most of the forts, were slave posts. The Europeans had captives, held them in dungeons, brought ships, loaded them, sent them to the Americans to work on plantations. And some of our people, Africans, who became victims, were people the Europeans themselves raided or kidnapped. What I mean is, they could set a whole village on fire, and as the people around and helter-skelter for their lives, they raided for the young ones. You could be working on your farm with your brother, your husband, your son, or even your friend. You look back, and he's gone. Sometimes they used deceit. They deceived some of them. Let's go to our home countries. We will give you better lives. They ended up working for them. No, there were some instances where some Africans, chiefs, traditional rulers, prominent personalities, brought some people and sold. But they were not selling their brothers, their sisters, their children, as some people sometimes want us to believe. Most of the people they brought were rather some of their prisoners of war. People were captured during warfares. You know, there was no Ghana, no Togo, no Nigeria, no Burkina Faso. One big continent made of states, kingdoms, ethnic groups, clans, as we still have. They all wanted to expand, fighting among themselves. Those who were defeated, instead of them to be killed by the victors, they rather imprisoned them, sold some out for gunpowder. I said they were fighting them. I mean, there was a gap. Africans were not that united then. The Europeans took advantage of that. And sadly, we are still not united, and they are also still taking advantage.
That's right.
That is why today, in the whole world, Brazil is the second country after Nigeria with the highest number of black people. There are about 100 million blacks in Brazil.
Wow.
Ghana, you know, we are just about 32 million.
So there's still racism.
Yes. So population of Ghana, Togo, Benin put together, I think we cannot match black people in Brazil. Most of them are there because of transatlantic slave trade. So to Brazil, you know that US of A, Suriname, Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, Antigua, Jamaica, Haiti, St. Vincent, Dominica, Colombia, and others to work on plantations mainly. Flew to Europe to do construction works. Men were here, women were younger. And on top of this male slave dungeon was a church. So Monday through to Saturday, they had slaves, held them in dungeons. Sundays, they had church services happening. That is when in Ghana, some people commonly say the ship that brought Bible, same ship took slaves away. First president of Kenya, Jomo Kenyatta, once said, when the missionaries arrived, Africans had land, they had Bible. They taught us how to pray with our eyes closed. When you open our eyes, they had the land, we had the Bible. And we are still having it. That is why there are more churches in Ghana than factories. And also, white images of white Jesus is everywhere. And sometimes you even pray before that white Jesus. And Jesus is never a brony. The dungeon here is one of the ways they built all. So when you see real dungeons, come to Cape Coast. Because this one was designed, built at the peak of transatlantic.
So it's not like the
Elmina for trading gold, ivory, spices. When they started trading in slaves, they converted some of their storerooms into dungeons. That is typical underground dungeon, purposely built for our ancestors. So it slopes and it slips. So watch your steps.
These people. These are the only lights you see. I can just imagine it's lights. And you've been here for 3 months.
Yeah, no wind, no
Wow. On ventilation for them. And see how dark it is. Now understand. Imagine how dark it will be at night. As a result of that, some of them lost their sight.
They will.
It has been in the dark for 3 months. Later went out, the sun rays affected the eyes of some of the captives. Chambers near 5. This is the first chamber, and this one measures 1632 feet square, and it was occupied by 200 people.
200.
Packed this space, 200
Like
space. Yes. The 5 are 1,000. This very one was called strong chamber for those who were physically, mentally very strong. Because they were strong, they were chained, normally by the ankles, against this wall, locking out the chest in these holes. 1, 2, 3, 4. There is 5, 6, 7. So long chain, my ankles were caught about 20, 30, and long chain, they would lock out the chain, heavy metal. There were many, 200 people. Sometimes, if not always, the dungeon became very hot. When it became unbearable for them and started shouting, they poured water. Just to cool down their water. It is estimated that 30% died here because communicable infectious diseases spread very fast. When some of them died, in their own land, they were not given the faith in burials. Rather, they put their bodies in bags, added stones, they down them into the sea. So feces, urine, vomit, blood, sweat, tears, saliva, human flesh, covered the floor like this. So what is inside here is petrified feces, urine, vomit, blood, sweat. And in fact, the whole floor was covered like this. Just that archaeologists came from the University of Ghana and Legon is scavenged of this chamber. Then let what is here for us to talk about. So simply, what is inside here is DNA of our many ancestors. They give them food. They were fed normally twice a day, but little food just to keep them alive. Most of the time, domestic captives were bringing food for the potential ones. And sometimes, when those were hungry and the food was not coming, they became very aggressive. To avoid attacks, they didn't come with the food. Very aggressive and emotional. You separate them. Because I've encountered such experiences. Oh, welcome. You have to join us, right? In your terms of in your right. So this is the third chamber. So we just came from the first, the second, this is the third, the fourth, and the fifth. Each chamber was about 200 million creatures. To be found for 1,000. And what we are standing on is built up of pieces, jewelry. Standing now, it's a little bit higher than where you are. Yeah. It's thicker here, and it's thicker here because of this. As I just indicated, sometimes they pass the food, yes. Yeah. Sometimes when they became aggressive, to attack them, they didn't bring it, they didn't come with the food, rather they pass the drop food, yes. And they struggle for the food in their faces, in their children, in their homes. And this very well, this one goes up, it's seen right in front of the church, on top of this thing. So they could be passing for church services and they could hear the captives screaming from the dungeon. Stand here. Then look up, look through. You see there's a brown ceiling there. Yeah. That's the ceiling of the church.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Everybody's wild.
Elmina Castle, the Dutch had their reformed church on top of a female dungeon. Cape Coast, the Church of England, now Anglican Church is on top of this dungeon. Same happened in Christiansburg, the one in America. So the way the churches worship, singing praises, preaching the word of God, love your neighbor as yourself, thou shalt not kill. Captives were also in the dungeon, so right beneath them, suffering, crying, dying. So if there is something in hell, then ironically, heaven up there, hell down here. They created heaven for themselves, created hell for Africans. And they still do that.
So I'm wondering what kind of God they were praying to.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's a metaphor for
Much of your steps now.
Oh, wow. People bring
See, you see burnt bricks beneath, right? Burnt bricks here. The bricks we see here is the original floor. Okay. So on the bricks is what our ancestors unconsciously built on, with their faces, with their children, with their vomit, with their blood.
All of that.
Yes. And the bigger trench starts from the first chamber. It passes through the middle of the other side down to the sea. Wow. And it's brighter here than the other four because of this. I indicated that the brand marks on them. Yeah. Branding iron, the name, initials, number, logo of the company they mentioned will be embossed on the iron. Something like JSS. Palm oil, they applied the forearm, the chest, the back. Those who were seen as troublemakers, the forehead. Shh. When the ships came and the captives were about to be loaded, in this last chamber, they sorted them out, counted them, like they took stock. You know, the Obama's laid the flower here when they visited 2009, but their flowers are a natural one. A few months after the visit, it's dried up. Madam Kamala Harris the current Vice President of the United States of America, visited the facility last year, I think March. She laid hers in the female dungeon, and it's natural too. So, but when we get there, I will still show you the remains of what Madam Kamala has laid. So next time you are coming, I will be expecting yours. Any question? Right, information here is very powerful.
Yeah.
Very, very profound. Are we together?
Yeah.
In everlasting memory of the anguish of our ancestors, may those who died rest in peace. May those who return at least find their roots. May humanity never again perpetrate such injustice against humanity. We, the living, vow upon us. This was unveiled by National House of Chiefs, Ghanaian Chiefs, 1992. During the Maiden Panafest, they unveiled this. I indicated earlier that some chiefs brought some of their prisoners of war and sold. Some chiefs who happened to be the custodians of our land gave the Europeans land, built these several dungeons, forts and castles. So in my own opinion, these three chiefs, this evil business wouldn't have been successful.
Exactly.
So 1992, our current chiefs deemed it wise, unveiled this one in memory of our ancestors. And to me, most importantly, they are telling us that we shouldn't adjust this. They are telling us that we shouldn't allow such injustice to happen again, because a lot of people were killed. But the captives were those who were dependent on the rain, water, drinking, cooking for them. When they picked some of the female captives to rape them, they fetched water from here for them to shower before they took them to their bedrooms. But they dug well, like boreholes, so they were dependent on those wells, rainwater here for the captives. And it's about 18 feet deep, 15 feet wide. Each one can hold about 3,000 gallons of water. Then with pipe-on water. We fetch water here when our taps are not flowing, for painting, for cleaning, even other stuff like that. So we still use these water systems. Any question?
This is the roof we show you for the inside there.
This was the church. The church was called Society for the Propagation of the Gospel, SPG Church, First Church of England in the country. Church of England is now Anglican Church. Anglican churches are all over Ghana. Methodist Church Ghana started from this courtyard. A child who reads will be an adult who thinks unknown. I may agree with this to some extent, but I don't 100% agree with this. Would you ask me why?
Why?
Because there were some people, and still there are some people who cannot even read. I mean, they never read when they were young, when they were children. But they are adults now, and they think sharp.
Yeah.
And there are some people who can read, they read everything, but unfortunately,
They are not sharp.
and reading has got nothing to do with thinking. You recall this? I told you the church is on top of the male dungeon. This is the spiral we saw from the third chamber.
Yeah, this is over.
I'll take you to the dungeon after. This is the ceiling we saw from the dungeon. The brown ceiling we saw from the dungeon. That's why I said they could be passing for church services and they could hear the slaves screaming from the dungeon. So look at this. Imagine Philip buried there.
Let's take a nice picture.
The British brought these to defend themselves. They brought the cannonballs, mortar balls to defend themselves. So I give you 1 minute. I'm going to take some pictures. I'm going to carry a ball and see how light they are.
Heavy? It's heavy.
I'm sweating.
But because of the 3Gs, it was not coming. You know the 3Gs? The gold, that's for gold. People always get it right. But the other two. No.
Not the girls.
Not the girls. This time I'm not the girls.
Okay. We don't know the other two.
It's not good, no?
The God.
Yes, the God factor is very critical. Because you just came from the church.
That's right.
So
Okay.
we have to like that.
Gold God.
Gold, God, and glory.
Glory.
So one person occupied this hall.
Wow. Hostile.
Boss.
Bigger than the chamber in the dungeons for 200 captives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 windows. 9. Compared with the dungeons, 200 people were provided with 3 small holes for light and rent. Just half a window is bigger than 3 holes in the dungeons for 200 people. The bedroom is right here, 5 windows.
Yeah.
5 plus 9, 14. And about 3 doors. So we saw the reception area, the office, the living room, the bedroom. So they stayed out, it's comfortable, they enjoyed the awesome place. Africans, landlords, landowners were held under control, sometimes no ventilation. Let's see the bedroom.
Governor's bedroom.
Yes, the governor had almost a 360-degree lookout. He occupied the highest point. Now remember in geography, they told us that the higher you go, the cooler you can see. Beautiful view. In fact, no doubt the place is beautiful. But the history behind it is very, very ugly. From the windows, you see Fort Williams. The white structure on top of the hill with the red top. The white one with the red top. Something like a ball of it. Fort Williams. Built around 1820. There's another fort. That's Fort Williams. There's another fort, but unfortunately we cannot.
And this is his living room. The governor's living room. They are currently in his bedroom.
Victoria. And these 2 forts were built not as slave posts. These 2 have no captives. Rather, they were built to protect this one. Both are built on top of hills. Soldiers shops. Barracks now gift shops. So after the tour, you could go downstairs and shop. And make sure you shop till your money get finished.
Thank you.
Shop till you drop after you walk home. Let's see where the captives were auctioned for sale. The slave man. This is living room for George McLean, but let's get this.
How many living room he get? That guy.
McLean was administrator.
Okay. Oh, governor. Okay.
That is very good. To be white in 1480.
Palava hall. Palava sauce.
Auction block. Auction. Palava hall.
Or if I taste.
Palava is a Portuguese expression.
Meaning?
Confusion or trouble.
Confusion, okay.
But the British adopted saying palava. But to them, palava is a shit. But in Ghana, palava is a sauce.
Yes. Palava sauce.
And this is where the buying and selling took place. Very big, bigger than the church.
Negotiation.
Because it's the biggest hall in the facility. Meaning where they were making the money was more important to them than when they played worship.
Yeah.
Several windows. There were doctors, nurses, merchant company reps here. Guns, gunpowders, mirrors, textiles, liquor, tobacco, knives, sugar, and others displayed. Those captives brought here by middlemen and other individual slave raiders were those who were first brought here for examination and auction. Right? Because some of the captives were not bought. I said they were raided, they were kidnapped, they were deceived. When they had these ones, they pushed them into the dungeons to get away. Sometimes their agents were sent inland in some of the slave market, like Salaga. Salaga is in the northern part of Ghana. Yeah. Salaga is where they had the biggest slave market. They bought captives from there. When they brought them straight into the dungeons. But those brought here by middlemen, like Philip Kwaku's father, who was the chief. Condemnation cell. This room was originally a storage. It was one of the storerooms. So you can see there was another door here blocked off. They closed this one when they wanted to use the room as a cell. And those captives wanted to fight for their freedom. But you know, the British saw them as stubborn or rebellious ones. But one thing we should know is that they suffered for too long. And when man is suppressed, oppressed, depressed, or suppressed for a long time, one day he will explode. To escape and were caught. And those who constantly fought them could be 2, 5, 10. They would chain all of them together and miss kick and slap and they would push them in. Then they would lock them up with first door, second door, third door. The doors were three. No lights, no ventilation, no food, no water. 2, 3 days, maximum 4. They will struggle, suffocate, and die. Sadly, when they locked the doors and they made sure all of them died before they opened.
Wow.
I mean, even after 3 days, when they open, see 1 or 2 still alive, they will close the doors again to the last person. It's gone. Because if I'm here with you and if you die before me, the only thing I could do is to sit or lie with the bodies, with the chain on the ankles or my ankles, waiting for my turn. And many of you died on the first day, by the 3rd, the 4th day.
Yeah, why they put the man and women here in this?
Normally, this was
because they come to sell. No, it's okay. Not okay, but it's okay. But why they put here to?
They killed them here.
To death.
Yes, they killed them here. As I said, after they were after they are all gone, after they are all dead, they will bring in some of the male captives for. Down.
Second.
Goodness,
Right, let's see
She broke it. Have you gone there?
Not yet.
Yes, but the male dungeon is quite far from the point of no return.
Have you seen it?
They've not all this.
I don't look at so much.
So they marched them from the dungeon to the ships. So this was the tunnel. This is the tunnel with entrance is blocked off in the dungeon behind the shrine.
Yeah, where the shrine is.
1833 when they passed the wall, they closed off the entrance, they blocked off the entrance. So the ships came, they marched them from the dungeon to the ships. They're not going down or coming out here. This was just a spy hole, observatory. Soldiers stood there just to keep an eye on them. Move, go. And it's about 18 feet deep here. And bear in mind, all the construction done by manpower, Africans. So no one like to tell about 50 to 60 years to build this. You can imagine that. Step down. Blocked off. After slave trade, the British built walls in the tunnel and they used parts of the tunnel as storerooms and water systems. Some years back, we wanted to move the walls in the tunnel so that wonderful visitors like you could walk through and also to see what is actually in it. Because there are some people who have the view assertion that after slave trade, after the British abolished slave trade. The male captives who were still in the dungeon were not freed. They didn't let them go. Rather, they were pushed into the tunnel and sealed.
So there were skeletons there.
Yeah, they were buried alive. But we openly cannot deny or confirm this assertion. When we decided to move the walls, experts said the structure is old, no annual bars, there are cannons on the tunnel, these cannons are very heavy, so they said without the walls, the tunnel will give. So they marched them from the dungeon in chains and shackles to this place. They were initially going out through here, but seawater was coming in during high tide. That is why they closed this. When they closed this, they marched them out, joined the women to the door of no return. They sat on canoes, 400 to 500 meters. They entered the ships, and that was all. And the bigger ships and the slave ships were also called floating coffins. Floating coffins because on the ships they were packed like sardines, like cargo, head in, head out, head in, head out. Very difficult for them to return. About 6 to 8 weeks. So you can see conditions on the ships were even worse than the dungeons. Those female captives were put inside here. They were locked up with a heavy metal door here. Food, water, just once a day. I told you the dungeons, they were not fed twice, but in the same once. There's a hole down here for feces, for urine, for vomit, for blood. Because you know, as ladies, when they were given some kind of diseases. After 7-10 days, those who survived were allowed to go back to the dungeons, just to punish them here. So next time, they will say yes, also to serve as a blessing to the others. They spend 7 days here, and they allow you to go back. When they still come back for you, and you also still say they will go back. So you have no business. Yes, as I was saying, the mothers were brought back, those who were weak. They worked there as domestic captives. They were doing the cooking, fetching of water, fetching fire. Those who were strong later, they shipped them. The babies, the children, majority died, and the few that survived, they raised them. They had a school for them, came to school. Some grew up, became workers here, secretaries, clerks, spies. Were forced, migrated to the new world through or via this door and never returned. Door of no return because they went to this door and we lost contact with them forever. Door of no return because the moment one went to this door, then he or she died on the way or arrived. In that situations, never returned. You know, most of them died though. Very most of them died. Those who survived the dungeons were those who went to this door, embarked on a journey. We call it in our Akan language, Fihankra. Fihankra means they left here without even getting the opportunity to say goodbye to the people they left behind. Why most of them died? Listen, during the wars, raidings, kidnappings, and other means of getting them, some died. Coming to the dungeons, they walked several hundreds of kilometers. Wild animals attacked, killed some of them. Snakes received the casket with the remains from them, sent them to the door, to the courtyard. And the very moment they sent the remains to the door, the jinx of door of no return got broken. Short ceremony dubbed Great Homecoming held in the castle after they sent the remains to Asem Manso for reburial. Asem Manso is a town on your way to Kumasi. By Road, about 60 kilometers away. There's a river there called Inonkonsio, ancestral slave river. Those captives coming from that direction, when they got to Asem Manso, they stopped them, shaved them, gave them bath, polished them, or smeared their bodies with shabata in Goto. Now those were somehow old, with some grey hairs and weak, who look younger, attractive for higher prices in the dungeons. So they spent days, weeks, months here, never back. Last African bath at Asem Manso. That is why they sent the two remains of Madame Crystal, Samuel Cousin, from Jamaica, New York, respectively, for reburial. And on that day, August 1, 1998, when the jinx of Door of No Return got broken, Ghanaians named the other side Door of Return, inviting our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, African Americans, African Europeans, African Caribbeans, and all others to come back to Africa, to reconnect, to help develop the continent. Because the continent of Africa is not only for those of us living here, but also for millions of people, especially those with African descent, scattered all over the world. It's that when you return, you saw on the wall boldly pasted apart, Now, Akwaba means welcome.
Welcome.
So you are all welcome.
Thank
Any
you.
question? Before we say bye-bye, what I want to share with you is that we are all witnessing that the dungeons, the cells,
I'm returning.
this beach is still called Abrofonkwano. White Man's Beach. The beach was exclusively for them. They built a wall all over here to prevent the people living around from coming. As I told you, we don't want them to see the kind of stuff they do. That is why this beach is still called Abrofonkwano. They were using the staircase to the castle, from the castle to the beach. So the land here, the soil here is last soil. Millions of Africans stepped on and never stepped on the soil of Africa. The sea was coming very close, so just about 2 years ago when they built this. So they came out, went down, sat on canoes like this, and the canoes threw them to the ships, and that was all. Door of return. Let's talk about door of return. Share a word with you, wrap up. Mama, you can sit.